So Erica, how do you get involved in wrestling? How does that become your passion and the sport that you compete at the Olympics in?
Yeah, I started in grade 9 in high school, and there was a sign posted outside the gymnasium door, and it said co-ed wrestling practice. And I was like, wrestling? That's so weird, right? But I recruited 3 of my best girlfriends to join the team with me, and after that first week, I was hooked.
Where do you go from that point to becoming an Olympic gold medalist? Because there aren't a lot of wrestlers in Canada that you don't think like, oh yeah, Canada is known for their wrestling.
Well, Canada, it's not like hockey, I guess, but we actually have a really strong legacy of women's wrestling in Canada, of women's success. We're one of the most successful summer sports of all time, women's wrestling in particular. And so my second year wrestling, my first coach was a female wrestler. She was in university, she was my size, so she was there, and I never questioned my ability and my desire to wrestle. And 4 years after starting wrestling, I moved across the country to Calgary, Alberta, because I needed a place to be great. I wanted to be with the best facilities, the best coaches, the best training partners, be in an environment with many other female role models, and be part of the legacy that is women's wrestling in Calgary. And then, 12 years later, of wrestling every single day in this little tiny basement padded room at the University of Calgary, I got to walk onto the wrestling mats at the Olympic Games. So it was a long journey.
Now, tell us a little bit about the Olympics. When you went there, did you have aspirations of a medal? Were you favored to be in one of the final matches? What was it like for you?
Yeah, so wrestling at the Olympic Games, it's one day only. And, every match is a new match. In wrestling, anything can happen. And I was expected to win a medal, but it was never about winning a medal for me. It was about competing. It was about doing my best. And I'll never forget the feeling that I had the moment that I walked into the venue that morning. I walked into the venue. I felt like 10 feet tall. My body was like vibrating with joy and with excitement because I already felt like a champion. And all that was left to do was just to go out there, wrestle, execute my game plan, have fun, and I accomplished those goals.
One of the things I love about this show is that you get to a little bit of the insight of what a pro athlete thinks, and the way you think is so different from the way that any amateur thinks. So it's really neat talking to you about that.
Thanks.
We'll get back to you in just a sec. First, let's get back to some more golf.